Casey's biggest hits.
9 years ago this week, back in 1988, one of the biggest hits in the USA was I Want Her. It's by a soul star who put out 4 albums and sold more than 1 million copies of each. Then he took 2 years off to open a restaurant. I'll have details and that big hit after this.
Hi, it's Keith Sweat. Don't go anywhere. There are more Billboard hits to come as Shadow keeps counting down on American Top 40.
Casey's Coast to Coast. Casey's Top 40.
Well, now we're up to what you might call the tale of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Sweat, a singer who lived a double life, stockbroker by day, funky music man by night. He's Keith Sweat, and he says he got a job in the world of stocks and bonds a decade ago when he finished college. Keith spent years working for some of the most influential companies on Wall Street, including Prudential Bache and Payne Weber. Now, ordinarily, when you think of a stockbroker, you think of a pretty conservative person who wears a suit and a tie and spends his days crunching numbers and talking on the phone. It's his job to take orders from clients who want to invest in stocks, bonds, and commodities like wheat and soybeans. During the day, that's the kind of person Keith Sweat was, and those were the kind of things that he did. But when the sun went down, he'd leave Wall Street far behind. He'd take off the suit and tie, put on his funky threads, and spend the night with his band Jamila, playing live at all kinds of New York City night spots. Then, when the sun came up, it was back to his suit and tie and a day raking it in on Wall Street. Keith says he loved to lead that double life. He told us he's not one of those singers who believes in starving for his art. He wanted to pay the bills and eat regularly while he waited for his big break. Well, that break finally came in 1988 when he scored his first top 40 hit, I Want Her. And these days, instead of watching for hot stocks, Keith's got his eye on hot hits, like his former #1 on the black chart, that's still earning him blue chip dividends on Casey's Top 40. Here's stockbroker turned singer Keith Sweat with survey song number 33, Make You Sweat.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. Our special survey of the top 100 hits of 1991 originates in Hollywood. The singer with the year's number 97 song originated in Harlem. He's Keith Sweat, and every day he'd commute to his job as a supervisor at the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street, writing love songs during the long subway ride. Well, this year, Keith's love songs paid him big dividends, like this song that went all the way to #1 on the black chart, I'll Give All My Love to You.
Casey's Top 40.
Wherever you are and wherever you go, you can hear Casey's Top 40 every week on great radio stations like 92.5 KISS FM, the right music right now, Toledo, Ohio. Today's best music, 92 Moose, Augusta, Maine. Solid Gold, 98 KDSJ, Deadwood, South Dakota. And today's best music, Magic 95, Lawton, Oklahoma. And dropping a notch to number 7 on Casey's Top 40 is Keith Sweat. Recently, he sang the national anthem at the Mike Tyson-Evander Holyfield fight in Las Vegas.
Casey's biggest hits.
9 years ago this week, back in 1988, one of the biggest hits in the USA was by a soul star who put out 4 albums and sold more than 1 million copies of each. Then he took 2 years off to open a restaurant. Between 1988 and 1994, Keith Sweat put out the albums Make It Last Forever, I'll Give All My Love to You, Keep It Comin', and Get Up on It. And then, amazingly, Keith put his recording career on hold. But he didn't put his life on hold. He used that time to create a nightclub and restaurant complex in Atlanta, Georgia, called The Industry. He also built a new state-of-the-art recording facility and kicked off a new record label called Kia Records. And only when he had his new ducks neatly in a row did Keith Sweat go back to making his music again. Music like the song that began his career 9 years ago this week.
Casey's Top 40.
Every week, Casey's Top 40's heard coast to coast and around the world on great radio stations like Jackson's hot new Y101, Jackson, Mississippi. The Spirit of Coshocton, FM 99.3, Coshocton, Ohio. The Most Music and Fun, Z103, Idaho Falls, Idaho. And Radio 101, Kind Words for Southeast Kansas, KIND, Independence, Kansas. Well, now we're up to Nobody, the current hit for a star who says he owes everything he is today to the 4 years he spent at the school known as the poor man's Harvard. Keith Sweat says if it weren't for the no tuition policy of the famous City College of New York, there's no way he would have gotten a high-quality education. Keith grew up in Harlem in the Grant Housing Projects on 125th Street. It was a tough, crime-ridden neighborhood. But just off in the distance at 137th Street, Keith says he could see the Gothic towers of City College, and he remembers staring at them from the window of his room, knowing that that's where he had to go. City College has a population of 12,000 full-time students, and so many Nobel Prize winners have graduated from there over the years that it's nicknamed the poor man's Harvard. At City College, Keith Sweat says he studied with some of the best teachers in the world. He says he went there a kid from the streets, but he graduated 4 years later a man ready for the world. This week, the well-educated Keith Sweat has survey song number 21 on Casey's Top 40, a song he performs with singer Athena Cage.
Casey counts them down.
And edging down 2 notches to number 34 on Casey's Top 40 is Keith Sweat, a singer who enjoys touring, especially overseas. And he says music is the universal language. Quote, even in places where they don't speak or understand English, they still pick up on the feelings coming through the music. Unquote. Here's Keith expressing those feelings along with Athena Cage on Nobody as the countdown rolls on.
Casey's Top